Hey everyone, LP here, and we're going to be doing a simulation today of what it would be like to actually bug out. We're going to be testing the new winterized bug out bag and new backpack that I've chosen to use for my bug out bag for the winter. It's going to be a pretty interesting situation, so let's go ahead and knock this out. First things first, I'm not leaving my coffee. I just left the house in this scenario, and I got a nice hot cup of coffee in the middle of winter. I am not leaving this puppy anywhere. I'm going to grab my sunglasses, and I'm going to put them into my pocket, and I'm going to put my hat on, because why not, right? All right, let's go ahead and let's get this potty started. Oh. All right. Obviously the coffee cup. It's definitely got to go with us. But one of the first things that I want to do is I'm going to need to change my boots, because these are great little boots, but they're not good for the woods. So we're going to do that here real quick. So instead of you watching me changing my boots, what I've decided to do is tell you about what the boots are. They're actually made by 511. They're awesome little kind of lightweight tactical boots. They're well insulated, and probably my top pick for preppers. Whew. All right, so the next thing we're going to want to do is secure our firearm, because I keep one of these, but I have actually an appendix carry that I use. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we clear this for the U-tubes. The weapon is clear. We're going to holster it, and then we're going to pop it over here on our belt. There we go. This belt loop was giving me a little bit of a pain in the buttocks. Firmly secured, guys. Firmly secured. All right. Then what we need to do is get our bug out bag. Yes, I know it's huge, but it's winter time, and we're going to make sure that we got one water source over here, and we need to make sure that we top off our second water source. We always keep a little bit of water in the back of the truck. And this is winter. This one's metal, so it's not going to crack. In fact, it's got something in it. I need to get rid of that. Stay. And we're going to go ahead and fill this up with water. I like the wide mouths because you can fill them up very rapidly. Just like that. These are actually neat little bottles. Now I have, counting the one in the pack, the one and these two outside, I have 3 liters of water that I'm carrying. Obviously, until I get more water, the sources, I'll have to monitor my water usage. And this, one might ask, like, well, why don't you carry this with you? Well, you know, I really would love to, but once again, it's just more weight. I already have 3 liters on me, and this is here just in case I have to fill other things. So we're good with that. All right, and now for the magical fun time. If you know anything about these kinds of packs, they can be a little tricky to put on at first. The Explorer kind of got in the way. Like I said, this one is 43 pounds, so it's really not that bad. All right, the straps are new, so they're going to tear my neck up if I let them. So I've got to get my jacket out there, be cool, and it'll help me to protect me a little bit. All right, let's grab the coffee cup. All right, guys, here we go. I'm going to have to show you where the shovel is at some point. You'll see it. It's buried in the pack. All right, here we go. Well, this is like a good spot. It's kind of flat. I got to clear this stuff out of here, chop a few of these saplings down, but the tree doesn't have a lot of dead stuff real low, so it's not going to fall on me. Got a little bit of sunlight, so I can get some work done. All right, it's time to do it. All right, so this little area, this is the, there's no rain for scheduled for tonight, so I'm thinking I'm going to put my campsite, like my hooch, like right here. Yeah, maybe, it's actually all pretty flat, like right around here. So I think I'm actually going to set it up so that it goes like this. I've got a few saplings I can pull from, but I don't really want to depend on these. So I'm probably going to end up having to construct something very simplistic. All right, so X marks the spot. Let's get out of this thing. The key tools that I used when I was constructing this hooch, or shelter should you say, were a Walmart brand fixed blade knife. It's one of my favorite knives, as well as a Gerber multi, kind of like, it has a saw in it, it's a hatchet, it's got a hammer head on it. It's just a great little tool, so I used that to construct this. And what I had to do was basically chop down a couple of saplings and then get rid of their little branches. Basically, this is why I said this is not a bushcraft channel. This is a prepper channel. This isn't camping, this isn't bushcraft, this is prepping. But that means having skills, and you know, one of the skills is the ability to bushcraft a little bit. I'm far from a bushcraft professional, but I do kind of know my things, and I can survive in the woods if I have to do it. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm actually making like a couple of poles. There was one that was already kind of pre-made. I figured I'd check the distance. Then I needed to make some stakes, so I got myself one of the saplings that was kind of narrow and turned them into stakes. Now, I didn't need to use all of these stakes, but it was good to practice the skill. Now, this particular hatchet that I'm using, I've actually modified it. The blade on it does not come as a Scandi blade, and it's more for splitting than like a field type hatchet. Now we're going to start putting up our hooch. You know, we need to know what size it is, so we're going to kind of spread out the what would normally be my tarp, but I just couldn't find the tarp at the new property, so I decided that I was going to use my poncho. And this poncho is much smaller than I remember ponchos being. I'm going to use a ridge line to set it up. I'm going to use some of the wood that I've chopped up, and we're going to set up a very, very basic rudimentary shelter. As you can see, I'm using my my $1.25, not from the $1.25 tree store, $1.25 trap line that you can actually find in the Walmart fishing section. Instead of paying lots of money for $5.50 cord, this is actually a much better buy. The one thing that I think I probably remember most from setting this hooch up is the fact that I had forgot how to tie some basic non-slipping knots. And I had to granny a lot of it. I kind of fought with it, to be honest with you. Knots that I should have been able to easily tie. I just couldn't remember if you go in the rabbit hole or out the rabbit hole or around the tree or whatever analogy that you want to use. And I kind of fought with, you know, trying to relearn these knots that you use on a ridgeline. What was ironic was after I set the ridgeline up, and started to tie off using these non-slip knots, they basically slide in one direction and then lock. I found out that I could have probably just tied these off to my trees and to my pole that I had reinforced with some guidelines. It did come in handy that I was able to make the stakes. What I can tell you is that in the future, I'm going to get some lightweight stakes, and I'm not going to worry about making them. Now I'm just setting up my bedding right here, getting it all set to where I want it to be, and then once that's done, then we're going to move on to the next task. We're basically like moving in. By the way, this was a cheap sleeping bag that worked out really well. Now that the shelter's basically up, I'll check it here in a minute, see if there's any settling, but it shouldn't be any issues. My body's going to start to cool down from that work, but what I want to do before I get too far into this is put my tools away before we lose too much sunlight and I can't see them because they're not bright orange. going to put that axe away, and then we're going to take this knife, and we'll probably strap this knife or keep it closer. We're not going to really totally put it away. I'm going to put it right here on the side of the pack here. We got these little snaps that will allow me to do that. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that is a-okay. Because what I'm going to do is we're going to eat some lunch. Now, we would be on the go. I'm never going to eat right in my shelter, but my fire is going to be right here, so I'm not too worried about if I spill anything right now. Also, we're starting to cool off, so I'm going to go ahead and put our jacket back on. There we go. We'll leave it vented for right now. And then I've got a new food that I want to try. So I guess we're going to sit on the ground, but you know what? We don't have to, because I learned years ago to carry one of these, a sit pad, and I made this one out of an old isomat. They work great. They don't cost you $10 anywhere if you just chop up an old isomat. So we can sit right here, and what I wanted to try out, oh, there we go. Yeah. What I wanted to try out, might have to build some furniture out here, but that's not what this is about. So I've got a brand new, I showed you these meals in the bug out meal bag, but I've got a brand new one that I want to eat. And the idea behind my meals are that you don't have to heat them up. Now tonight I will be heating up some stuff. I'm going to boil some water. I've got a water jug for that. I can keep it in the bottom of my my sleeping bag to warm it up. And I'm going to heat up some food tonight. But wanted to, for lunch, get this new meal that I found. You might be interested. I guess I can do like a taste test for you and tell you if it's any good. This is Sherford Dippin' Ready meatballs. You literally just fully cooked, ready to eat, as a shelf life of until 2026. So I got a good year on this meal if I want to not do anything with it, or something to think about. As I talked about in my bug out bag update, always keep the long spoon for stuff like this inside the meal bag, the very first meal bag. So we're going to rip this open. I'm going to knead it up a little bit. I don't want to squash all the meatballs. I can fill them in there and let you know what it tastes like. Just going to carefully rip that open. There we go. Oh yeah. All right. So first and foremost, let's see here. Let's see, nutritional facts: 230 calories per serving, and there's 2 servings in this. So you can eat the whole thing and get 460 calories. We've got 26% or 18 grams of fat, and our cholesterol is at 40 milligrams, which is way over my keto. But for you guys, I'm going to do this. I'm sorry, that was cholesterol. That wasn't carbohydrates. This only got 9 carbs in it, and 2 of them are augmented by dietary fiber. It's got 12 grams of protein. So basically, I ate this whole pack, and I'm going to get 24 grams of protein. And I'm going to do that. So I'll show you what it looks like. I've got to show you what it looks like in a second, but I'm going to taste it first. A little meatball and sauce, that's all this thing is full of. If this is heated up, it'd be even better. This is better than the spaghetti and meatballs that come in the MREs. Hold on. Maybe I'll have to zoom in on this later because I can't get too close to this camera. It doesn't like to autofocus. All right, so that's what it looks like. And now I'm going to sit here. I'm going to eat my lunch. I'm going to drink the last of my coffee. And I'll be back with you guys shortly to set up for that fire. It was good. Before anybody starts to call the trash police on me and leave no trace, I always carry a Ziploc bag to get rid of all of my trash with. I can do what I want with it after that. If we were in shtf, no one would care, but clearly I don't want to leave any sign, and it just goes right back inside of my food bag. with all that said, it's time to make a fire. It's time to set up for a fire. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to dig a little hole. And the way we're going to do that is with my handy dandy World War I soldier issued shovel. Fits right into the side of this pack, not a problem. I forgot to put it in last night when I was making the bug out bag video, but this thing is unbelievable. Oh yeah, we'll definitely do some damage. So we're going to make ourselves a little hole. We're going to clean off a bunch of all of this, these pine needles, because this is a pine forest. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to start a massive forest fire. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and do that now.
So the first thing we got to do is take one large step away from your shelter in order to identify X marks the spot to dig that fire pit. And now the reason we do this is so that one, you don't roll into your fire, two, your fire is not too far away that you can't control it, and three, it's just about the right distance so that when you get a good fire going, all that heat is actually going to radiate and roll up underneath that shelter and keep you warm at night, or should I say, as long as the fire continues to go. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm forced to rake up all of the pine needles. And I was going to make a rake, but at this point I realized this isn't a bush craft channel and wasn't going to waste my time doing it because it's just easier to get on your hands and knees and rake the pine needles out of that large grass. I wasn't worried about the grass catching on fire because it was long and it had been raining for the last few days, so I wasn't concerned about that, but definitely the pine needles could have been a problem. I was in the middle of a pine forest and I didn't want to start a major fire. Now with the digging this hole, it's really simple. Just don't go too deep and don't fling your dirt everywhere, otherwise you'll have to bring it back in. If you hit a root, you can dig it up like I did. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but you know, I'm a little bit of a I like things to be right, so I had to dig that root out of there and I had to build me a little hole.
Now that we got our basic fire pit dug, we got to go find some kindling, we got to go find some wood, and this is a pine forest, so there's going to be a lot of cracking wood, I can tell already. So I've got to find some dried up hardwood, and it's going to be difficult. I think I see some of over there on the tree line. I'm going to trace that and see what I can find for hardwood so we don't have things popping all over the place, making noise and possibly starting another fire. So I'm going to go do that. Let's do some YouTube magic because that's a lot of recording. Go.
So, there's my fire kit. There are many like it, but this one is mine. And the wood just magically appears. You know, it took me about half an hour to find all of that wood and then get it back over to the campsite. In North Carolina, a lot of the perimeter trees along either forests, they grow a lot of wood here. They grow a lot of pine here, or the perimeter along a property line out in the middle of nowhere is often marked by hardwoods. This is my fire starter. I'm just the camera's really bad in this bright light. I'm probably gonna have to get rid of the camera, but I'm basically fluffing up my fire starter because what I want to do is have it ready just literally for me to just hit it with some kind of spark or flame when the time comes to get it started. I don't want to have to fight with it. And then now I'm just going to process some of the wood and get it all in little pieces. Normally it's pencil size or pencil lead size, and then pencil size, and then it's thumb size, and then it's larger. I only got to the large pieces a few times, but you can see down there I'm starting to get to the larger, and thumb size is also separated. I want to make sure that it's ready so I don't have to play with it. I don't have to fight with it. I don't have to go looking for it. I can literally just keep the fire under control with the type of wood that I want to use and burn when I want to burn it.
Now that the fire is actually ready to be started, I've got my fire starter ready, I've got my wood all separated, I think I'm going to take a walk around and do a little bit of recon, think about my way out tomorrow, and there's my mic, and then come on back here, and maybe I may or may not, we'll definitely have a fire, but kind of think about the day, and maybe get some food in me. All right, time to go walk around. Let's put this away, and almost forgot my gloves. Back in a bit. Just got back. There's nobody in this area right now, but there's actually a road that's on the other side of that field over there, and the trees aren't too thick on this side. And so instead of giving away my position, we're going to go ahead and cook supper now. We'll get the fire started, and we'll get it down to baby embers before the sun goes down. We got about an hour's worth of sunlight left, and as you can tell, it's much darker now that the sun is going down. So let's go ahead and let's get that process started. I guess before we do anything, let's get the food out that we're going to eat, and let's get our water ready to go. There we go. That's what I want right there. Another reason for us to be operating in the daylight right now, instead of trying to find things at night, I'm going to be cooking. You know what, we're just going to have some, let's see, we're going to have a dehydrated meal, maybe breakfast skillet. I had 3 of them in here. Beef stroganoff, there we go. We're going to have the beef stroganoff with noodles meal. So we get our trash bag here, so we're ready to go. Got our gloves for picking up hot stuff. We got a canteen, or our water, what we're going to boil some water in. We need to get that out of there. There we go. Extra rope. I think we're going to be all set here. I'm going to put this this top in this bag so we don't lose it if it gets too dark. And I think we're ready to go. Let's get the water for the meal started, and then obviously we got to get the fire started, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's get our fire starter. Once again, we've got our fire starter down here. No flint and steel today, guys. Just good old-fashioned common sense. And we're going to use this. Make sure this is all like fluffed up a little bit, so it lights really easy. Drop that right down there. If you guys are interested in this kind of fire starter, I do have a code for you in the description. And we're starting off with our pencil lead sized kindling. It's actually a little thicker than that, but we're going to get the fire started with these kind of things. And the way you gauge whether the fire needs more fuel or not is when the flames are coming through your whatever layer you've put down there. We're still sticking with the pencil lead size stuff. There's plenty of it in there. You can put a little bit thicker stuff on it. And look at the heat that's coming off there just from burning the fire correctly. If we weren't in such danger of burning down this pine forest, I would already have some of this wood pre-piled and just put it right on top. Let it burn through. While that's going, let's get some water started. Got our burn right here. We're just going to stick this in the side of the fire once we get it to the point where we think it's safe to do that. And we're not going to boil a lot of this water because it'll take forever to boil. We're only going to boil what we need to. I think we can get the bigger stuff in there now. Oof. See, we already got a little bit of stuff flying off there that I don't want to, so we're going to let this fire settle down a little bit. The reason, this is why I like these tall ones, because you can like push them right into the fire. And then from there, we're just going to let it heat up. We'll put some more fuel on it as needed, keeping it very small and just enough to cook on. As we sit here and watch this stuff slowly burn its way down, we're watching, I'm seeing some bubbles start to occur in this sucker inside my container here. I'm just going to turn it like that. And that's going to help to start to boil it a little bit. It's hot. You can actually watch it get hot on the inside of the container because it's still light. It's still daytime. And so while we're heating this water up, one of the things that I really had to think about was how much weight I wanted to carry, and also what would be my total goals. You know, obviously survival is the goal. I have to actually back up. This little bitty fire is putting out some pretty good heat. You know, actually survival is the goal. Getting from point A to point B is the goal. But also, is this a situation where you have to move as fast as possible, or is this a situation where you can not necessarily take your time, but you don't have to suffer in the process? These are things that we have to think about when we build our bug out bags, because they're very specific to what, for lack of better words, whatever the mission is. In my particular case, my bug out bag is to head off into the woods because I know a few things about it. I'll be honest with you, I am out of practice. I am out of practice. But I'm not so far off that I can't figure these things out enough to go, hey, I remember, this is how we do that. And I think that a lot of people should be like that, which means that they need to practice. And if they don't, then they're going to end up in a situation where things aren't so great. Okay, so this water is just about, I've moved it away, now I got to get closer. It's just about as hot as it's going to get, I think. I don't want it to get super duper hot. They say to use boiling hot water, but what I don't want to do is put my fire out. And I'm actually just right now I'm kind of like burning up more wood than I want to. I want this to be as small as possible, and the water is really starting to boil now. It's definitely not a rolling boil, but it is something. So with that said, obviously I'm going to eat my Mountain House beef stroganoff with noodles, and once I get that sucker primed up and ready to go, then we're going to eat it. Okay, it's time. Got our Mountain House. Ooh, the package got a little close there. Woo, it's warm. We got to take out all the flavor stuff. That goes in our trash. And then it's time. And now you know why I like leather gloves. And even though I'm wearing leather gloves, it's still very, very hot. All right, I'm going to call that as enough. We're going to put a little bit more water in here, and I've also built like a little bit of fire around this. I'm going to put more water in here so that I can make some coffee. There's no sense in wasting this fire. All right, so now we're going to close this up. And what's it say? Actually, I think it says mix it and then close it. That's right, I've opened a few of these. Still gonna need see, this is why I put the spoon in the bag so that I can find it. Yeah. All right, we're gonna mix it up. Got a good strong flavor to it. Not a fan of Mountain House, but this is what I got. Wait 5 minutes. Stir carefully, reseal package, wait 5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna wait 5 minutes. Okay, so the 5 minutes just came and went. Time to eat my beef stroganoff with noodles and be kind of smoked out. I've already made water for the coffee, I've already got it in my coffee cup, staying hot, getting smoked out. And now I'm going to eat. And the beef stroganoff. Okay, I'm not sure how long the battery's going to last, so we're going to go ahead and knock it out here. I'm going to eat my supper. I've got hot water for my hot water bottle that I'm going to put inside my sleeping bag. After this fire goes out, I'm going to enjoy the heat as long as I can, but the sun is going down and I'm going to have to kind of time it. Okay, so my other camera keeps crapping out on me. It's been going all day. I can't find the extra battery, so I'm using my phone now. But as you can see, shelter accomplished. And this is turned down so bugs don't get in it, by the way. Fire, good to go. I'm gonna let it burn down. That's the last bit of water that I'm gonna put in for my hot water bottle tonight. Food, 5 minutes, done. And before dark, I'll make sure everything is all cleaned up so that I don't have to go chasing around for it in the morning or whatever. I'm gonna eat my supper, and I'm gonna enjoy this fire for as long as it's going to last. I'm keeping it really low, and I'll be honest with you, this wood is kind of punky, so it's really difficult to keep this fire going. But I cooked my meal, I heated my water. I'm going to be comfortable tonight, all out of the new pack, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to record something a little bit better in the morning. Figure out the battery problem. I got to find that extra battery. All right, guys, we'll talk to you then. Good morning, everybody. Looks like we might have some weather moving in. Fire did well last night. Boots, pack, shovel, and me. All right, let's go ahead and set this thing up and talk about what happened. Well, good morning, everyone. Sleeping bag worked very well. I got to remember to take stuff out of my jacket if I'm going to use it as a pillow. Yeah, a little bit of bed head there. Let's go ahead and fix that. I think this morning I'm just going to grab one of my snack bars, get this place cleared up a little bit, then get going. As far as how things worked out, slept well. Sleeping bag kept me warm. I was surprised. It's rated for 25 degrees, but that's normally not even, that's survival, not comfort. It's probably closer to like 30 degrees. Last night it got down to like 34, 35, but overall it wasn't bad at all. I wish I had a ground cloth of some kind. I'm gonna have to find one of those. I'm also gonna find my tarp. This is nice. I could end up using this as a ground cloth more than anything else, but I mean, it works in a pinch. It works in a pinch. Some stuff that I need to work on is, believe it or not, tying knots. Remembering how to tie the proper knots to do things. So we're kind of moving into like the whole bushcraft thing. But this isn't a bushcraft channel, so suck it up, Buttercup. If I tie a granny knot to make this work, I'm gonna make it work. All right, I think that's gonna be about it, guys. I'm not gonna have you like watch me pack up and all this other trash. Like I said, I'm gonna grab a snack bar, I'm gonna put everything in the bag, and I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed the test run, the simulation. Everything worked fine. That's going to be about it. As usual, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. It's free and helps the channel. And hit that subscribe button if you've gotten this far. You might as well watch more of my videos. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, there's a way of doing that. You can become a member. There's a link in the description. And yeah, stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.